the men's pommel horse competition at Glasgow 2026. This is poised to be one of the highlights of gymnastics at the Games. The field is terrific. The qualification results were strong. The gap between the top three performers, 0.05 of a mark. And the best performer in the preliminary round was Scotland's Ruben Ward, ahead of the Olympic champion, Northern Ireland's Rhys McClenaghan. Jordan Carroll also scored the same mark as Ruben Ward, 14.55, the only separating criteria, the higher execution for the Scottish gymnast. This is going to keep us guessing right the way through to the very end. Let's see what happens. The men's pommel horse final. Wonderful crowd gathered in the arena. Glasgow 2026 and the 23rd Commonwealth Games. The field globally in pommel horse gymnastics at the moment is fantastic. To get into any international pommel horse final, you've got to be tip-top, and these gentlemen are. We are eagerly anticipating the arrival of the contenders. Only the top 8 can make it into the apparatus final, a maximum of 2 per Commonwealth member association. The qualification period was demanding, but these are the athletes who've done it. Let's see who it is that wins the title. Australia's Jessie Moore, all-around bronze medalist. He was the 6th best performer in qualification.
Representing Cyprus,
a gentleman with 7 medals at the Commonwealth Games. Cyprus's Marios Yuriou. He was the 4th best in qualification.
representing Canada, Jordan Carroll.
The Canada Winter Games pommel horse champion, Jordan Carroll. He's only 20. He's a specialist on this apparatus, and he was phenomenal in the preliminary round. With the same score as him in qualification, but better on the execution tie-break, top qualifier, Ruben Ward, all-around gold medalist yesterday and the Scottish pommel horse champion. Part of the English team that won a silver medal, Adam Tobin. And he has been the British all-around champion. Multiple Scottish champion, Cameron Lynn. 8th best in qualification.
Representing Northern Ireland, Rhys McClenaghan.
Oh, and by the way, here's the reigning Olympic champion, Rhys McClenaghan of Northern Ireland. Only 3rd best in qualification, but only by 0.05 of a mark. And let's throw in a great young gymnast on this apparatus, 19-year-old Ritam Malik of Australia, silver medalist at the National Championships. This is very difficult to forecast. It's going to be thrilling entertainment. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching the action from. Ollie Hogben here with Blythe Lawrence alongside me in the arena in Glasgow. Blythe, pommel horse is one of the toughest apparatus in the world at the moment to get into a final. If you make it into the top 8 in a pommel horse competition, you've achieved a lot because it is so competitive globally at the moment.
Around the world, there is burgeoning talent on pommel horse. In every major international final, it seems that there is a new competitor or two who is pushing up amongst the top men. Here, that competitor is Jordan Carroll of Canada, the son of 2 divers who chose gymnastics as a child over his parents' sport. And he has an excellent shot if he can hit this routine of getting onto the podium.
the men's pommel horse final at Glasgow 2026. We're going to have 4 gymnasts perform, then there will be a warm-up break for the next 4 to perform, so an 8-strong final. I'm sure many of you know this, but just in case you don't, it's a 0 start, so the qualification results don't carry over to the final. We will refer to them, though, because they're a very useful indicator. Gymnastics is difficulty plus execution. The difficulty starts from 0, works upwards. You're given marks for everything legitimate that you do. Execution starts from 10 and works downwards. You lose marks for every deviation from correct technique. And what is, Blythe, the correct technique on pommel horse?
We'll be seeing the gymnasts do a lot of circling on their hands. Sometimes the legs are completely together, as demonstrated there by Marius Yoryu, but sometimes we see what are called flares, where the gymnast really is helicoptering the legs in a split position. We'll also be watching them go up through handstand and down and try to swing smoothly into their handstand dismounts, often done with pirouettes. On pommel horse, the main thing is simply to stay on the horse for the entire duration of the routine. And as we are going to see, that can sometimes be a tall order. Pommel horse, one of the most demanding events in gymnastics physically. The upper body strength that is required is exceptional. And you can never stop once you've started.
That's such an interesting point to make. You don't get, maybe as you do on floor, just a moment of breathing space to reset. And something to really watch out for is the gymnast's body line. If the legs are starting to get very close to the apparatus and they're having to really bend in the midsection early on, that can sometimes catch them out later as slowly they get closer to brushing the handles. If the legs come apart, get separated, then naturally the kinetic energy gets lost. It's harder to keep the swing going.
Also, the placement of the hands on the horse with each of these elements is really critical. If you put your hand down in the wrong place, you could find that it disrupts your rhythm and suddenly you can be standing on the ground. And that sort of thing can change in the blink of an eye. A gymnast can appear to be going really well, and yet the next second there is an error and off they come.
The number of times in a pommel horse competition you find yourself as a commentator saying this is going fantastically and then clunk into the side of the apparatus they go. We are delighted to see Gabriel Langton in the crowd watching and enjoying the gymnastics, part of the English team that won silver. He had a very unpleasant fall from the horizontal bar. He was treated by the medical staff, taken to hospital and discharged to rejoin the English team with no serious injuries. Let's begin the men's pommel horse competition at Glasgow 2026. A 23-year-old gymnast from South Australia. Jessie Moore will get us started, the all-around bronze medalist. He scored 13.3 in qualification. That was the 6th best mark.
And this is a routine of tremendous quality. Also tremendous difficulty. He does several flare skills. Here he goes. And the idea with these is to turn his body around, but also to avoid the pommels. That actually makes it more difficult for him. And just as we said during the warm-ups, what happened there is the legs split and it disturbed his rhythm, and then his shoulders got out of alignment and he came off. The deduction for falling off the pommel horse, a full mark taken from the execution score. It could also impact the difficulty score that he receives, because if he does not finish the element that he was attempting when he came off, he won't get the credit for it either.
It's gone back to such a nice straight body position. Jessie Moore getting a good sense of kineticism to his swing. Nearly had a little overbalance in that pirouette, but concludes the exercise well. And right there in the first performance, we see the inherent cruelty of artistic gymnastics. You can be doing everything almost exactly right, and then off you come.
Pommel horse is also a huge test of a gymnast's endurance. And for Jessie Moore, we shouldn't forget that this is actually the 13th full routine that he has competed at these Commonwealth Games, all in the last 72 hours. That's true of a lot of the gymnasts in this final, particularly those who were in the all-around competition yesterday. We might see that fatigue comes in as a factor here.
And goodness, did he work hard yesterday to take that all-around bronze medal as the 7th best in qualification. Big moment for the reigning 3-time consecutive Oceania all-around champion. He studied exercise physiology and rehabilitation at the University of Canberra. Second time we've seen Jessie Moore at the Commonwealth Games, and it was actually 4 years ago in Birmingham that he had to withdraw halfway through the all-around final with an injury, so it meant a lot to him to perform yesterday and to win that medal. 12.833 is a drop of about half a mark from qualifying for Jessie Moore. Marios Ioriou of Cyprus is very accomplished on this apparatus. He scored 13.65 in qualification. He's won 7 medals at the Games.
He is remarkable for his steadiness, not just on pommel horse, but across all 6 apparatus. And sometimes with him, when there's a small problem, like those leg separations on the Wendeschwings on one pommel, he is just able to somehow work through it and not let it disturb the flow of his routine.
So far, so good, almost there, dropping a little low. Dropping quite low and pushing up into a nice pirouetting dismount. Marios Ioriou of Cyprus. But he will lose a fair amount of execution marks due to those leg separations. Not as much as if he'd come off, but he knows, and his reaction is clear, there was a bit of hemorrhaging of execution.
Well, he didn't fall, and that is the main thing. But just as you say, Ollie, every time the judges see a little flicker of leg separation like that, they will levy a deduction of about 0.3 of a point. And that deduction comes per full circle.
So they can really add up quickly, can't they?
They don't tend to last very long, frankly. Either the gymnast gets it back together and continues with correct technique, or they fall. Marios got it back together.
Amazing gentleman. He was due to miss Birmingham 2022 with a shoulder injury, so he went to support the team and be in the crowd, decided he needed to compete, and he won 4 medals. Amazing. 13.1. He's just over half a mark lower than qualifying. He gets more difficulty, but he's lost virtually a full mark of execution compared to the preliminary round. He is leading. Now, this young man was fantastic to watch in qualifying. Jordan Carroll, the Canada Winter Games champion on the apparatus, a real specialist. 14.55. This is fiercely difficult. It might be the most difficult performance that we see.
It's going to be spectacular if he can hit this exercise. Really unique look to the composition of this routine. There's a smoothness to his swing.
This is breathtaking. Breathtaking. Come on, Jordan Carroll. Now working low to the apparatus, keeping control in the Wendeschwings. And he's up, and he's just got to hold this. It's such a complicated display. Jordan Carroll of Canada. Brilliant.
How lovely that was from Jordan Carroll.
Thank you. Thank you.
One thing that's really good about his technique is that he is able to keep his hips really high above the horse. That's known as clearance. And the hips don't dip down in this routine as it goes along.
This is quite stunning gymnastics from Jordan Carroll. He's got 15. He's even better than qualification. A 9. How do you get a 9 for execution when your difficulty score is 6? Well, the challenge has been laid down to the top qualifier, Scotland's Ruben Ward. He's the national champion on the pommel horse, and he got 14.55 in qualification.
This is Ruben Ward.
Good, calm circles. Look at the Wendeschwing on one pommel. Extremely difficult work. Really masterfully executed here by Ruben Ward. The travel forwards and backwards, and the traveling Wendeschwing, so difficult. Soars up through the handstand. The pirouette is exquisite. Ruben Ward of Scotland, you have done it again.
He shakes his head. The crowd absolutely overjoyed by the work of this young man. He's put himself on the map. Jordan Carroll loved every minute of it. Let's look back at why this was so good.
The variety of elements that he demonstrates is really wonderful. He starts off with scissors, and then there's this gorgeous sequence on one pommel. Important for his difficulty is this travel forward and backwards down the horse, circling his legs the whole time. But we didn't see any leg separations. His toes remained pointed the entire time. There's a real delicacy to the hand placement as well. And it was all capped off by this wonderful pirouetting dismount.
This is going to be right up there. Oh my goodness me! 14.966. Jordan Carroll can't believe he's hung on. Ruben Ward has just scored 9.266 for execution. He barely lost a mark. Lost almost nothing. Several tenths, that's all. And how nice that Carroll is the first to acknowledge the quality of competition. By the way, we've still got the reigning Olympic champion to come. We did promise people a good pommel horse final. I don't think we've ever seen somebody look so relaxed and happy at a multi-sport event.
Jordan Carroll is absolutely loving this. This is the routine that he came to Glasgow to do. And in the moment when the heat was on, he delivered. Even with the quality of pommel horse specialists that we see globally these days, 15s are rare.
his teammates know that that is an Olympic title winning score. You can dominate the world with a pommel horse routine like that. But he's got one as well. Now, when it comes to dominating the world, when it comes to being the Olympic champion, been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt, etc. Rhys McClenaghan.
And now back for more. The fire still burns.
I can't believe the quality of this. Well, I can believe the quality of it because it's the quality that we thought we'd get, but they're even stronger than qualification, these gymnasts. So how does Rhys McClenaghan now go out there and put his name into the picture?
He simply does what he knows, first and foremost, that he can do. However, in the last couple of years, we've only seen him out on the international stage twice. And so there is still a process of him getting back into the swing of things, quite literally, on pommel horse. But in the qualification, he certainly looked the best that he has looked since the Paris Olympic Games. If he is able to produce what he did in qualifying, he'll be right up there. But 15, well, it's a big number, even for Rhys McClenaghan.
You've mentioned in the past about Jordan Carroll's fascinating sporting background and how he actually began as a diver. You can see actually that lovely elegance of diver's technique in the way that he performs on the pommel horse. And he could be about to follow in the footsteps of his mum Mary, who won an individual gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, but that was in diving in 1990. Now supporting the English gymnast who first emerged at the Youth Olympic Games in 2018 in Argentina, the fans of Adam Tobin. Adam Tobin comes in as the 9th best performer after qualification. Good luck to him.
He opens up with a scissor to handstand, risky element. The gymnast really needs to control the handstand and bring it back down and continue his swing. This is well-controlled work. Occasionally, he looks a little bit labored in the hip lift, but he is demonstrating great control. Oh!
And that's exactly what we were saying in the warm-up, that things can look as though they're completely on course, and that happens. But you did cite it earlier. You talked about just a slightly labored feel, and eventually the hand slipped.
What was happening was actually his lower body was brushing the pommels as he was circling around. It's very distracting for the gymnast. It's also an execution deduction.
This is often the way in a pommel horse routine, that the moment where the gymnast comes off is not really the moment where the inevitable happened. It's actually, you look back several seconds and you see the thing that led to them coming off.
Exactly. You can see it coming from time to time. Occasionally, it does take everybody by surprise, but certainly he reached for the pommel, he didn't grip it, and there was just no way that he wasn't going to come off.
We should point out as well that young Adam Tobin has had a lingering shoulder issue for several years that took a long time for him to get over. And he has managed to get over it, but it did restrict the ability to train across every apparatus consistently. And you can only imagine the strain put on the shoulders when you're doing something like the pommel horse, when you're doing anything in gymnastics. He really has returned to prominence at these games. He's been great to watch. On this occasion, sadly, it's 12.066, so virtually a full mark down from qualifying. Carroll still leads. Ward second by only a few hundredths of a mark. Marios Ioriu is in third place. There's room for somebody to make a move. Will it be Cameron Lynn, multiple champion of Scotland?
He's got the difficulty to potentially climb onto the podium. He's got a long sequence of work on one pommel that opens this routine. That element is known as a sewn, the full spin on one arm, and then gripping the second pommel. This next sequence, very important, Wendeschwings on the end of the horse. And then the traveling Wendeschwing, the same thing, but moving across the horse. The dismount could determine where he finishes.
What a superb effort from Cameron Lynn. Yes, they know it, he knows it, the crowd knows it. The gentleman in second place, Ruben Ward, cheering on his teammate. Blythe, he worked so hard to keep that going. What a controlled display from Cameron Lynn. Especially, as you pointed out, those Wendeschwings right on the end.
Amazing, given the fact that he did 6 routines in the qualification and then in the all-around final yesterday. And yet, to come out in the apparatus final and look so fresh with such a difficult routine. It's terrific from him. There are those traveling Wendeschwings. He actually does that sequence after. And these, the Wendeschwings at the end of the pommel horse. So important for his difficulty. Everything hit beautifully.
Oh, Cameron Lynn, well done. Into the bronze medal position with 13.833. That is over 0.8 of a mark higher than qualification. Step forward, the great Rhys McClenaghan, MBE, the Olympic champion from Paris. He's had a challenge thrown down.
Rhys McClenaghan is the king of the Wendeschwing. We're going to see several variations of it in this routine. He's going to drop down between the pommels after showing us 3 Wendeschwings on a single pommel. Lots and lots of focus on the single pommels. And there we go now. 1, 2, 3. Once again, it's vintage Rhys McClenaghan. But the legs come apart and he is fighting to stay on.
That's an unbelievable save. An unbelievable save from Rhys McClenaghan. It will cost the execution, but he has preserved some high-level difficulty.
It's extraordinary that he didn't fall off.
It's barely believable.
It is. And respect to him, because it's not going to get the score that he wanted, but, well, it just, if you are a gymnastics fan, you are left breathless by this save.
And let us remind ourselves and everyone that he missed the entirety of 2025 with shoulder surgery and the associated rehabilitation and comeback.
It's been a very long road for him since the Olympic Games, getting back into form, and he is the first to admit that he is not there yet. It's a process, but it's a road that he is very willing to travel. He knows what he needs to do to get back to his best.
Rhys McClenaghan's not at his best is higher than most people's peak performance.
And that's why he's in this apparatus final.
.13 for Rhys McClenaghan. He's down a mark and a half from qualification. Cameron Lynn with 1 to go, is on the podium, with Ruben Ward guaranteed at least a bronze, Jordan Carroll guaranteed at least a silver. Rita Malik scored 13.5 in qualification. If he can add a few tenths to it, he needs a gain of about 4 tenths, then he'll get onto the podium. The 19-year-old from Australia, Rita Malik.
He's made a name for himself with his performances all over the arena. And this pommel horse is his showpiece exercise. Lovely Wendeschwing on one pommel. So much of his focus is one pommel work. Gorgeous circles. The legs completely glued together. Here's his travel forward and backward. That very sequence worth 8/10 of a point. Right into the handstand, and not quite the pirouette that he wanted to do. He wanted to add a little bit more to that, but overall, a very sharp performance.
He is a very sharp young gymnast, Rita Malik. His disappointment evident right at the end. And for those who are newer to watching the pommel horse, might have missed what didn't quite go right there, because he saved it well, but he didn't complete everything he was intending to at the end.
There will probably be a small execution deduction associated with that. It's going to impact his difficulty too, because on dismounts, the more pirouettes that you do in handstand, the higher the difficulty credit.
Got a lovely straight body position though, hasn't he? Decent clearance.
He really does. And great rhythm to this routine. It flows really well.
That was the end.
And it's right here. You can really see he wants to continue going around. Still, a very positive exercise.
There is absolute Scottish jubilation, because they have finished second and third in the men's pommel horse final, Ruben Ward and Cameron Lynn. And it is the young Canadian Jordan Carroll who, with one of the routines of the year, has taken gold. 15. He's the Commonwealth Games champion. Blythe, that was a pommel horse final that frankly sits up there as Rita Malik's 13.333 is registered. That sits up there with any pommel horse final in the world.
Yes, completely. What a breakout performance by Jordan Carroll of Canada in his first major international competition. And Ruben Ward and Cameron Lynn will join Daniel Keatings as the only Scottish gymnast ever to appear on a Commonwealth pommel horse podium.
Third place and the bronze medal to Cameron Lynn. He was so much better than qualification. Talk about embracing the occasion. And Ruben Ward and Jordan Carroll. I mean, I've only got one more request to make, which is, can we have just so many more competitions featuring those two gentlemen all over the world in the pommel horse finals, the great pommel horse finals that are surely going to come, because Carroll is 20 and Ward is 21. No Scotland, no party. Hamish Carter watching. They can't believe it, can they, the Scottish team?
What a couple of days it has been for Scottish gymnastics.
Ruben Ruben Ward, yes, he was indicating how close he was there to gold. The gap, 0.34 between first and second. And what an effort from him. Brilliant performance from Ritam Malik. He was third. So he was fourth, sorry, by half a mark away from third place. The classified results in the men's pommel horse final. Bronze to Cameron Lynn and silver to Ruben Ward, both of Scotland, and the gold to Jordan Carroll of Canada. The gap, 0.034. Sensational entertainment at Glasgow 2026. We promised you a pommel horse final for the ages, and boy did those gymnasts deliver. The medal ceremony in the men's pommel horse competition. It's coming up in just a moment at Glasgow 2026.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, game on. The medal ceremony for the men's artistic gymnastics pommel horse final.
The setting is the arena in Glasgow and the 23rd Commonwealth Games. The medal ceremony for the men's pommel horse competition as part of the artistic gymnastics programme. This was an incredible final, one of the highlights of the entire gymnastics programme. What joy for the host nation. Two of their own on the podium. And a winning score worthy of the very highest honours at any competition anywhere on earth. Stephen Martin.
And Senior Executive, Glasgow 2026, Gail Shepherd.
Joined by Gail Shepherd to present the medals.
Bronze medalist, representing Scotland, Cameron Lynn.
What a moment for this young gymnast from Scotland, Cameron Lynn. He added almost a full mark to his qualification score. He only just made it into the final, and he wins the bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games. Reuben Ward of Scotland, already a national hero after his all-around title yesterday, came within a whisker of taking the pommel horse gold too. His score, even in isolation, one of the great moments of these games.
Gold medalist and Commonwealth Games champion, representing Canada, Jordan Carroll.
Jordan Carroll produces the highest score that we have seen at these games, and he wins the pommel horse title by a matter of hundredths over Scotland's Reuben Ward. This was a performance that the world will take notice of. Don't ever forget this young man's name. Jordan Carroll is your Commonwealth Games champion.
We stand for the national anthem of Canada.
And there they are, the medalists in the men's pommel horse competition at Glasgow 2026. Well, at some point, Jordan Carroll is going to realise just what he's done. I'm not sure that he's quite there yet, because it's going to take a little while to sink in. But there's no doubt about it, Jordan Carroll and Reuben Ward, in terms of the numbers they produced, the quality of those scores, have just captured the attention of the world.
They have taken their place amongst the great pommel horse contenders, and they are numerous right now, but they belong among them. 2 more have been added.
Cameron Lynn just delivered the pommel horse routine of his career when it mattered more than ever before. This is an incredible moment for Team Scotland. Jordan Carroll, just 20, from Saskatoon